Hierarchical queries. Hierarchical queries are intended to pull data from hierarchical structures, such as the category table. If you can remember from the category data that it has parents assigned to specific categories. In the example sections for this chapter on hierarchical queries, we'll create something a little bit more interesting because this particular table has only a single level of hierarchical data. We'll create one with multiple levels. But essentially, hierarchical data is often defined by a single table with what is called a self-join or a fishhook join. As you can see, the join is joining to itself, where the category is contained within a parent. So you'd have a parent containing multiple category rows. And we have a tree structure here to represent basically how you would retrieve hierarchical data stored within the category table, but bouncing up and down through a tree structure, where the data is actually built as a tree structure. And you can also retrieve that data in the order of the hierarchy using a specialized query in Oracle. This specialized query is often called a connect by query, or basically a hierarchical query. As you can see, I've created some data. As I said, I was going to look at a slightly more complex example where I have a family tree. William Ford, John Ford, William Ford the first, second, Henry Edsel, and we have a family tree for the Ford family. Select name father level from family tree, start with a certain person, so we start at the top of the hierarchy, which is William Ford the first, and we connect by the prior name, which is the name field in the table, given that the table has a name and a father field. The level thing is actually what's called a pseudo column, which we have covered in the previous course, but it's a column that is generated as the query is executed, and the level pseudo column is very specific to connect by hierarchical queries. And as you can see here, it's showing you how it would actually traverse up and down the tree, going from level 1 to level 2, down to 3, up to 2, back down to 3 and down to 4, and then up to 3 and 2, up to 1, down to 2. It's called a depth first search, so it always goes as deep as possible, then comes back up, goes as deep as possible. There is another type of search that goes up and down trees, which is called a breadth first search, and it searches like this, where it goes to level 1, then all level 2s, then all level 3s, and all level 4s. Breadth first searches don't really apply to tree type structures and are more likely to be used in artificial intelligence and more complex structures. But we can essentially see what a hierarchical query is. It essentially selects data from some type of hierarchical data structure. It starts at a specific point in this structure, and it connects a name with something else. So it's connecting the name, in other words, John Ford with his father.